Hello, I am here with you on your final week of the Longevity Sweat Reset program. Today's session is packed with understanding the why of detox. I do not expect you to remember everything I talk about today as I get a little deep, but I do want you to understand the biggest takeaway. Detox is very complex. And within detox, we really need to support our gut and liver so we can eliminate toxins and live longer, healthier lives. And it'll show up as one way as beautiful glowing skin. My name is Erica Gutierrez, and I will again be your host for the next 20 to 30 minutes. I hope you enjoy this topic. I know I personally really like understanding the why of, a topic. So the why of detox, it really helps motivate me to want to do a better job. So hopefully you feel the same. Today, we are going to talk about the importance of gut health. I know we've talked about this a bit in the past, but I want to explain it in a little bit different way today. We're going to talk about how the liver works and how detox is broken down into phases. We're going to talk about those lifestyle enhancers, including the sauna, and how to reduce toxin exposure. And you know the drill, we're going to go over this week's worksheet, which will wrap up all of the weeks. And we are going to talk about creating consistency and then really making a switch into the lymphatic system and how it's important to move the body and make sure our lymphatic system is not stagnant. So, you know how the old saying of we are what we eat? It's really more of we are what we absorb, or we are our gut bacteria, essentially. We have more gut bacteria than cells in our body, and we rely on this gut bacteria to produce many different nutrients and neurotransmitters. It affects our sleep, our emotional state, our ability to handle stress, and very importantly, how well our immune system functions and how our genetics will be expressed. We have the foundation of our gut microbiota, that microbiome of bacteria, by about age 2. And a lot of research is actually showing that what happens while we're in the womb also plays a huge role in our gut bacteria. So after about age 2, we continue obviously to have exposure, and we make lifestyle choices that both can positively and negatively affect the microbiome. And it affects 3 different areas, essentially the immune system, how well we digest, and then the brain gut axis. So when we talk about immune function, it comes down to how well we can defend against harmful bacteria and infections, and then also our tolerance for a lot of foods. Based on our gut microbiome, we cannot break down or properly handle some of the different foods, and they're seen as inflammatory. The gut bacteria does help with digestion and absorption of certain nutrients, which in effect affects metabolism. And there's a lot out there recently on the gut-brain axis, which really involves satiety, mood, our pain response, and so many more things. This whole process of our gut is a very delicate balance, and many things will shift one way or the other, balanced or imbalanced. Behaviors like intermittent fasting is very helpful on the gut, because what happens is when the gut is empty, it almost brushes all the way through the system and cleans out the residual things. What ends up happening is a lot of people snack all throughout the day, so it doesn't allow your intestinal tract to do these processes. It's very important to eat in a relaxed environment so you can properly digest. And then also eating the types of foods that have fiber, phytonutrients. Those are the colors in the produce, eat the rainbow. And then having balance, not too much protein or fat, and especially not too much sugar. Some of the other things that can cause an imbalance, would be processed foods, artificial foods, excessive stress, alcohol, even medications. So while they may be necessary for a different disease process, many of these medications actually hurt the microbiome. NSAIDs, which are things like Tylenol and ibuprofen, seem like not a big deal, but they actually really affect the microbiome in a bad way. And then things like biotoxins. So this is, like the after effects of a tick bite or having mold in your home. It can really compromise the body for a very long time. And then clean water is so important. That can throw off the balance or really help keep a nice, healthy gut bacteria. Okay, so I have worked with many people that have gut infections, parasites, imbalances. The good news is you can work to heal your gut. It's best to really follow this 5R protocol. So it's removing the bad. So this could be like an imbalance of the bad bacteria, it could be toxins, even stressful thoughts that can affect just how well our gut bacteria is functioning, for example. Next, you want to replace what is missing. So a lot of times people lack, for example, digestive enzymes, and they may need to, in the short term, replace it so that we can break down the food properly. It's going to be important to add good bacteria, reinoculate with those good bacteria so we can restore a nice balance. We're going to want to repair the gut lining. If you've heard of leaky gut before, what happens is a lot of people, and I'll show you in the next slide, or actually saw in the last slide, what leaky gut looked like, where you can get things through the barrier, which you're not supposed to be able to. And then rebalance, so lifestyle factors like sleep, stress, and having movement. Now back to removing, number one, you typically are going to want to test for harmful bacteria before going ahead and just getting supplements that kill off bacteria. Because, you don't want to do something that you don't actually need to do, for example. You can improve your digestion by adding those enzymes like I talked about, or eating in a very relaxed environment and chewing slowly. You can take a broad probiotic. You can have more prebiotic, eat those fibrous foods to feed the bacteria. If you do have leaky gut, it's going to be important to reduce inflammation in the diet. So it might be inflammatory foods that you're eating. But then there are a lot of different supplements that help speed up the process of the mucosal barrier. I'm not going to really talk about that today, but if you do have leaky gut, you're definitely going to want to get extra support. And then, rebalance is so important because if you don't, you're going to get back to an unhealthy gut situation. So this is a very busy slide, and I'm not suggesting you remember any of it other than the liver is involved in almost every process in the body. It's hugely involved in detoxification. It produces cholesterol, which is necessary for hormone production. It influences thyroid. It's involved in immune support. It's involved in maintaining muscle. It helps with digestion of fats and management of blood sugar, and it's a storage area for many nutrients. Now, on the right side, when we look at the process of detoxification, specifically, toxins enter through the lung, the skins, the intestinal tract, and these get filtered through the liver through a lot of different processes, and hopefully then come out in one of those ways. It could be through stool, urine, lungs, skin. When we don't detox properly, toxins can get stored in fat cells because the body does not want them circulating through the bloodstream. So they get stored somewhere, and it is typically a fat cell. And this is one reason why when you lose weight very quickly, if you're flushing fat, oftentimes you're recirculating a ton of toxins, and it can cause, different detox effects, foggy brain, nausea, like flu-like symptoms, for example. Here is another busy slide that you don't have to remember other than detox is complex, and it requires a ton of nutrients and processing for everything to go right. So when a toxin enters the body, it gets converted into something that can be pulled out of the body. The thing that it gets converted to when you're going through phase 1 of detoxification is actually more toxic than the original substance. And it's so crucial that we have the right nutrients to convert from phase 1 to phase 2 and bind it and take it out of the body. This is where B vitamins, glutathione, this is that antioxidant we talked about in the immune function area, building blocks, the amino acids, building blocks of protein, healthy fats, and nutrients that are in fruits and vegetables. All of those things are needed in order to properly change the toxins so that we can excrete them. So then from phase 1 to phase 2 until it's bound, and then phase 3 where it's removed, if this process does not go correctly, like I said, it can get stored in different places. Certain toxins like to go into certain places. So heavy metals prefer the brain, for example. And for some people, the silver or amalgam fillings that they have, those have heavy metals in them. And people that grind their teeth and have poor detoxification can get a buildup of those toxins in the brain. And this can lead to brain fog or worse neuro issues. Most often with too large of a load, or if the phases of detox are not working properly, this is where we see issues. Some people detox really well and never have a problem, but others are actually very sensitive. So how can detox go wrong? One, we can have a sluggish liver. Since our liver is involved in almost all different processes of the body, this can be a real area of holdup. So feeling sluggish, tired and fatigued constantly, if you have a white or yellow coated tongue or bad breath often, weight gain around the midsection, cravings, blood sugar issues, headaches, things like poor digestion even would fall in here. Feeling nauseous after a fatty meal. So it's showing you're not properly digesting your foods. Another one is intolerance to strong smells such as perfumes. This can, even those aromatic things get transferred and transmitted through the liver. Skin breakouts, rashes. I mean, there's so many different ways that the liver can present to you symptoms in the body that it's sluggish. Our genetics play a huge role in our ability to detox properly. There are many, many genetic mutations in the coding for how fast we go through the different phases. And if you have a genetic mutation and it's switched on, you may go really fast or really slow through phase 1. So if you go fast through phase 1, phase 2 can't catch up in time, then you're going to start to store these really bad toxins in the body. So it's important that we, it's really important actually that we know our genetics and properly support our detoxification. Like I said, if you're someone that can't handle artificial smells, perfumes, or if a drink or two of alcohol is too much for you, it's likely that these pathways are not running properly. And it really can come down to also missing out on certain nutrients like the B vitamins. Sulforaphane is a product in cruciferous vegetables. So that's, remember, your broccoli, your cauliflower, your Brussels sprouts. Those are cruciferous vegetables and have really important components for detoxification. And choline. This is most commonly, from what I can remember, found in egg yolks. So it is important to actually eat egg yolks every once in a while. And then those nutrients too affect how your genetic mutations, if they're switched on or off, and can affect detoxification overall. And then think about this, when your diet is already poor, you aren't getting the right nutrients to actually detox, and you're putting all these toxic foods into your body. So really a double whammy and a recipe for disaster. Okay, so how do we speed up all of this and create efficiencies? Once again, we're going to bring up the sauna. In so many ways, the sauna helps with detoxification. We mostly detox through urine and stool, but in a small way, we also can sweat out toxins through the skin. Remember, the sauna is so important for enhancing how the cells work. And so this is really important in properly detoxing. And then that flow and blood flow and circulation is so huge. This is why we're going to get into lymphatic drainage a little bit more at the end of today's session. This is that system that really plays a significant role in homeostasis in the body. The lymphatic works to keep body fluid levels in balance. Fluid levels are so important so that things can properly get in and out of the cell. Mild dehydration can really affect us. We can actually be dehydrated, but fluid overloaded because it's all sitting in our lymphatic system. It's made up of a network of lymphatic vessels that carry lymph, which is a clear, watery fluid, and it contains proteins, salts, and other substances throughout the body, and it connects all different parts of the body. So we're going to get more into that in a little bit. First, though, I want to talk about how we can really reduce our toxic exposure. We are exposed all the time to toxins, and one of the best ways to detox is to avoid it to begin with. So our environment is a huge component. This is in the air we breathe, the mold exposure possibly in a home, the chemicals in your carpet and your furniture, all of those things in our environment really play a significant role. The water we drink and bathe in, you think about how much water you drink in a day and where that comes from and what is all in it. You know, we had our water tested and there's very small particles, I would say, of arsenic and different metals that are unhealthy for the body. And it's considered in a healthy range. And most people wouldn't do anything about it. But from my understanding, all of it, especially if you're sensitive to detox, which I am, you want to avoid those at all costs. So why not take them out so your body doesn't have to work harder and use some sort of a filtration system? So we have reverse osmosis. The problem with reverse osmosis is that it takes out every single mineral and then you can become mineral deplete. I really personally like a Berkey system. So this filters out things like fluoride and arsenic and all of the bad things, the bacteria, all of that, and keeps the good minerals in there. So that's personally what we use. There's a lot of good systems out there though. We also spend a lot of time consuming food. So eating as many things as you can, organic, non-GMO, eliminating preservatives. These are all seen as foreign things. The preservatives are all seen as foreign things in the body and causes inflammation. So the cleaner the food, the better. And then a huge area is the beauty products we have, the plastics we drink our water in, and the different detergents that we have in our think about the detergents that we use for our clothes that are on our skin all of the time. And then all the different cleaning products can be very harsh for the system. Okay, so here is your tracker for the week. Included topics are in the gray at the top. I pulled everything together from all the different weeks. So I would really like you to find ways to reduce your toxic load, add in healthy gut practices that we laid out in that 5R protocol. Be mindful of eating and track your meals and go back to your why you want to live more vibrant, why you want longevity, why you're even considering this. Keep daily stress relief protocols in place, even if it's 1 minute of meditation or breathing, that does count. Sometimes the hardest thing is to keep going. So maybe you feel better or somewhat better, and you don't have to keep up with what you're doing. What's going to happen is you'll slowly fall back to where you were, and you might not notice it, but over time, you'll be right back to where you were. So I really suggest you make it easy. To make sauna an easy habit, for example, would be find a consistent and convenient time that you can block on your schedule as you time. Instead of squeezing it in as an afterthought, fitting it in at the end, make it a priority. Same kind of thing with grocery shopping. Make this automatic on a certain day of the week so that you always have healthy foods available. And then set some sort of trigger as a reminder. So for the sauna, it could be just a notification on your phone as a reminder. It could be if you're trying to exercise, set out your shoes and clothes ahead for the next day so that it's ready to go. And know that things will not always work out as planned. You may have not slept one night and you're going to have a really hard time waking up in the morning early. Have a backup plan. Have a time later in the day that you can get some exercise in. Use your lunch break as a time to walk. There's so many different things that you can do. Have quick, convenient foods in place if you can't make a full meal. And remember to start small and don't take on too much all at once. This is how you're going to create real consistency. Okay, so I want to go back to the lymphatic system. You can see the green veins, the green looking veins in both of the pictures. This represents the lymphatic system. It's that interstitial fluid. It connects all parts of the body. What happens is it can become congested, and it's the same symptoms as a sluggish liver. So today we're going to focus on a practice to help the lymph system. So you can see there's 8 different ways that you can clear a congested lymphatic system. Deep breathing, enough hydration, exercise and rebounding. Dry brushing is a really good one. Different herbals will really help with flushing fluids. Alternating showers, so this is like hot and cold, hot and cold. Massage therapy is great for it, and sauna is great for it. So you're already in a sauna. We're going to do some deep breathing. I'd like you to take a drink of water now if you have it. And what we're going to do today is practice rebounding. This is often done on one of those mini trampolines, but you can get the rebounding effects from running, jump roping, anything where your body is just bouncing a bit. So we are going to practice that now. Okay, so stand up. And we're going to take 2 deep breaths. Make sure you're breathing in so that your stomach and diaphragm is fully expanding and fully emptying. Take another deep breath in and out. Now, what we're going to do is slightly lift yourself up on your toes and then allow gravity to drop you back down on your heels. And repeat. It's really that simple. Up on your toes and just let gravity drop you down on your heels. Keep doing this. If you're someone that holds water or has poor detoxification, this really may support that water balance and detoxification for you. Okay, keep going up and down on your toes to your heels. Don't forget to take a deep breath in and out as you continue to rebound up and down. Feel free to keep doing this as I talk for the next few minutes. Don't forget to breathe. Yoga can be another really good way to move energy and lymph through the body. There are so many different poses where you're twisting, pushing, pulling. All of those motions help with the proper body flow of the lymphatic. Keep going. And I just want to wrap up saying I cannot believe we are already on our final week. Remember, as you go through this week and as challenges pop up, you are already whole and complete. And these are just tools we're utilizing to level up and feel great. I want you to know that feel free to stay connected with me and please reach out. I plan to stay actively supporting Perspire and creating more content along the way. I'd love to hear any feedback you have to enhance the next experiences that I create. And most importantly, I want to thank you for being here and working so hard to become a better version of you for lifelong health and vitality. Until next time, have a great day.